Hey everybody, welcome back to our Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here watching some 86. We got some comments here, so let's see what people got to say. We got Rogue Knight from the Patreon for episode The Truth Is. I love all the Independence Day references, lol. Thanks again once more for watching one of my favorite shows. I appreciate the comments about why the Confederacy were making disparaging remarks about the 86 while they were out there going to their deaths. Some reactors only go, they suck for saying that, and don't realize that it is a complicated subject. These people are throwing their lives away into a meat grinder with the hopes humanity can survive a little longer because a few kids do the impossible to defeat the Morpho. I'd be pretty upset in this situation. It's such a weird balance of optimism and hate. Thanks again for a great video. Yeah, I think we've been having a lot of fun talking about the Confederacy, the way people keep viewing things, the way people are like trying to edge in this case of like trying to accommodate these kids, but at the same time trying to be protective of them. It has been an emotionally fun ride trying to watch how everybody deals with it.
Well, I think the comment specifically talking about the statement that they make during the final part of the episode, where
Hmm.
everyone's marching forwards to basically their deaths on the front lines. And I have to think that it's a speech given in a motivation factor towards the
Oh
Confederacy
yeah.
forces, completely disregarding the fact that the 86 might be listening, because you don't have to motivate 5 kids versus 30,000 or whatever troops.
Right. I think my comment at that time was literally like on the lines of they are in fact cheering them on, but like doing it in that kind of the way you normally talk to someone who might be like really close to you, where like you'll say it's like, ah, you idiot, you're doing this, you know?
Well, I mean, they're
Maybe
also
it is disparaging in a vacuum, but they are admitting to some camaraderie.
well, I mean, it's very much those disgusting monsters, but there are disgusting monsters.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
They're not the Legion. They're not anything. They're ours. They're fighting
Mhm.
for us on their own choice.
Yeah, which is why I thought it was such a turning point at that moment because like it's a turning point in the Five's perception of how everyone else has been perceiving them, where before they've only been like seeing everything as they used to in the Republic.
Well, mind you, also you have to take into account, you know how Karina is like, I hate it when these people are pitying me. I prefer it when
Hmm.
they're talking shit about me. At what
Yeah,
point,
exactly.
at what point would you accept the fact that people are meant to be talking shit about you because you want them to talk shit about you? Are you
Hmm.
gonna get mad that they're talking shit when one of the characters explicitly says, "I want them to"? I'm more used to
Right.
this.
Hmm. Yeah, it's fun watching the development of that, of slowly getting over that curve and like finding a way to actually relate to them finally. Which was the problem, right? So I think with that, next comment here is Fell from Welcome, who says, the thing in the classroom can be somewhat resemblant of Japanese Shinto shrines, where wishes and aspirations are written on wooden plaques and hung up. You can also make small donations to the shrine there and make a different wish, but in your head. Oh, and both Lena and Jerome got demoted. The lieutenant colonel is a different one. I know you acknowledge it, but still. And I cannot wait for Theta's thoughts next week. The episode is very interesting.
Yeah,
That was the first episode of the season.
a lot of people wanted to tell us that that wasn't Jerome. And I think the problem is it took us so long to say it that a lot of people want to tell us that that wasn't Jerome.
There you go. We do recognize it. It just took us a second to get it. That's all. But yeah, no, Lena being demoted after going against orders also just makes perfect sense.
Well, I mean, it's
I
like,
think that was.
I think it's more extreme than just going against orders because you're like, I told
Mhm.
him he couldn't have leave, and you sent him on leave. Not that sort of thing. Literally, you fired all the artillery. you
Yeah.
know, like, it's like I sent the forces out to do a thing. You don't have the authority to do that.
Thinking back that far, it would be almost hilarious to have a moment where just like we flash back to Lena and what's happening with her, like what her situation was, and someone says, "If only we had the artillery still," and then Lena goes, "Oh no, I fired all of that 3 months ago."
Well, pointedly, the problem there is that we also saw that the majority of the artillery is inoperable. or is
Mhm.
bad or something like that.
Yeah, but on to also the first part of the comment, which is like the well wishes and the Shinto shrine stuff. Like, I think they definitely got the vibe across, and I guess it's always interesting to see like the Japaneseisms like just thrown into stuff. It's obviously going to happen. It's anime. That this is where it's being written, right? It's going to have some.
It's a made up world though, so
Yeah,
doesn't.
but at the same time, if I were to end up writing a world and just put it into a modern setting, someone is probably going to go to a burger joint and buy a burger with
No,
fries,
no, no. I mean, I think
right?
you took that the opposite way. I mean, it's a made up world. Why would everything have European things or literally
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
made up. It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything you want in there, and it's fine. No one cares. All right. The recap last time was The Truth Is, where to assisting in research their objective, the Nordic Squadron sets out in a forgotten prototype as the Federacy, the Kingdom of Rio Gracia, and the Alliance of Ald simultaneously begin their massive assault against the Legion forces. Uh, so what's the way I would put last time? Last time was literally like 20 minutes of just building up to the one moment of the mission is starting, right? We had all the Independence Day stuff, which we like briefly mentioned there, and it was a lot of fun. It definitely felt great. I'm pumped to see this now.
No, no, we made the speech jokes hundreds of times.
Yeah, yeah. So, which of the five is the type to be in the crop duster airplane trying to go directly into the alien mothership?
The 86,
Yeah, of the 86, which one?
all of them.
Yeah, no, you're right. So let's go ahead and go over to the section of Theta's thoughts because you got probably a whole bunch of them. So what do you got?
I think Ernst and Jerome would have gotten along well had they ever had the opportunity to cross paths. Ernst keeps repeating that he'll burn this country to the ground if it doesn't live up to his ideals. Jerome
Mhm.
keeps saying that the Republic deserves what they're getting after everything that they've done. Jerome is just Ernst if the Federacy fails him.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't think about that parallel. We got two people who are just the same, but just in different situations. No, that's great. Maybe Jerome's still alive out there.
Yeah, it's possible. We don't know
Unlikely.
anybody is alive over there. I think we may have read more into the term disinfection that Ernst used at the start of last episode than was really there. The implication we had drawn was one similar to what the Republic was doing to everyone that wasn't an Alba, a whole cleaning of the country of an unwanted masses. What I think Ernst is actually referring to is what they first brought up to the 86ers, sorry, when they first brought the 86ers into the Federacy and isolated them, back when Ernst had to first meet them in a hazmat outfit, due to the fact that his generals feared that they might actually be a new Legion weapon of some kind. I think disinfection here then refers to getting rid of them specifically as a callback to getting rid of them back then.
Yeah, no, I think that's on point actually. I think it also is like a tacit reference to the Varg as a whole as well, which was also kind of like the initial starting point of the episode. So like they were kind of lumped into that group and part of like, oh yeah, we kind of do want to get rid of that group, but we want to be nicer about it than the Republic.
I think the Varg thing is just a whole different negative aspect of the
Mhm.
Confederacy. But I think again the
Yeah,
disinfection thing is literally when they thought they might be germ warfare from the Legion.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely coded language.
They did juke us with suggesting Shin was dead at the end of last core. It could be entirely possible they are juking with Lena this time as well.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way you kill Lena off. Well, maybe, but no way. She's too cool now.
As a thought I don't want to really entertain, but popped into my head while thinking about 86, there are a lot of mirrors between different characters. Kira and Ray, for example, are kind of dark mirrors of each other. Then you have different representations of similar things, like how Shin is acting like Ray was for him, to Frederico, in place of Kira. And that is where the dark thought came to me. Shin's neck scarring comes from when Ray got the bad news about their mother dying on the front lines. It
Yeah.
snapped when Shin kept begging him to explain things. Ray only stopped when he was forced to stop by the Alba farmer guy tossing him across the room. Now here we are, Dark Mirror.
Yeah.
Shin thinks that the Republic has fallen, and even has visions of Lena walking off into the flower fields saying goodbye. Just like Rey, dealing with the loss of an important female figure in his life. Then, Frederica starts tearing him down, insisting that he not go, pushing on him not to die, just like Rey, dealing with someone just like a sibling that just keeps pushing the matter. We saw his hand relax on the door handle, but not what happened after. No one's seen Frederica since, as she's locked in her room. Do I think Shin would snap like his brother and strangle her to death and lock the door behind him so no one would find out before he goes off on his suicide mission? No, not really. That would be insane, and out of the
Well, that's
and
what you
out of
build up to, man.
and out of step for the entire moment the scene takes place in. But I can't ignore all the mirrors being set up all over the place to remind me that history is repeating itself with different characters.
I think in this case, the point of the mirror would be to show that Shin is more consciously aware of that decision and where that would lead. I don't think Shin would intentionally choose to follow through and imitate the things that happened to him. I think that's the entire point of his character, that he doesn't want that.
Look, all the show has to do is show us Frederica again, and it's fine.
Yeah,
Until
yeah,
then, she's locked
Frederick
in.
will be back.
Until then, she's just locked in her room.
Gosh, no, that's absolutely terrible. And then of course, like if the place blows up, then you'll never know. You'll never know if Frederico's already dead because now she's
Yeah,
obviously dead.
I mean, at that point, all I've done is left that idea in the thoughts of our viewers.
Yeah, there we go. So, worst universe, what's next?
Frederica's poster said the Dream Witch Magic, and also her backpack pair on it. So I guess that's the same franchise in universe.
Yeah, there we go. We got our magical girl anime inside of our anime. I like
Well,
it.
we mentioned we couldn't figure out what the poster said, so that's what the poster said.
Yeah.
Frederica said the name origin of the Natchez I did it once and I failed the second time. The Natchez in the show, but the one she gives doesn't really do it justice, as it also exists in our world and applies so much more to their situation in the show. In German folklore, a Nechazer is a type of revenant which was believed to be able to drag the living after it into death, either through malice or through the desire to be closer to its loved ones through various means. So, quite literally describing Rey and Kira, which is
Hmm.
why I think Frederica looked so unamused by it in the moment, despite giving it a different meaning.
Right. Yeah. No, I think Frederica is actually very well read.
Or she
I
was.
think she immediately spotted the in-universe parallels between what's happening in front of her and what this thing is called.
They loaded something else up into the Nechazer that our Federacy Lev counterpart said, I hope it doesn't need to be used, and I paused and stared at it for quite a while. Most of it is wrapped in fabric, so there aren't a lot of details to be made out. It's got rockets on one end, and at least one clasp attached to it. My first thought was maybe they had a nuke left, and if the
No.
Nordlicht squad fails, it would be their last chance to take out the Morpho. But that feels unlikely. Then I thought back to another sequence that's been coming to me lately. They can't paradrop out of the sky like in the intro if their transport only flies a few meters off of the ground. So, seems to me what is going to happen is we are going to lose Greth next episode when the Deserter gets intercepted by whatever the Morpho was left in the way of their defenses. But before she died, she's going to activate this thing. The clasp is actually tied to each of the mechs in the hangar, and the rocket is going to go soaring off into the air. The reason there is so much fabric on it is because those are parachutes, and our squad is going to be catapulted the rest of the way through the air.
That seems like a lot of effort, is my first thought.
They animated it in the intro.
That is a fair point right there. If we do end up getting the parajob, now is probably the time, right?
I think my added point was I think Greth is going to die.
It seems reasonably likely, given the whole thing is basically a suicide mission, right?
Well, it's not supposed to be giving earnest speech.
People don't want it to be, but that's still technically what we're on here. Try to come back home, but also, wow, the odds are not great.
I also listened as hard as I could to the very end of last episode to see if I could pull any voices out of the crowd of the dead, anyone we've ever met before. There's just too much
Mhm.
going all at once, so no joy there.
Yeah, that's a difficult task.
All right, our notes from the author for this episode.
Let's go.
It's based on 3 different aircrafts: the Caspian Sea Monster, the AN-2225 Maria, and the B-2 Spirit. It carries a payload of 300 tons and can carry a squad of 4 Vanguarders. Since the ring knives, this is horrible, are lighter, it can carry 15 of those. Like Theo said, it's very difficult to put it to use over land. Much like its name implies, the Caspian Sea Monster is deployed over water, but the old Empire built the prototype for larger scale, high-speed transportation of on dedicated flight routes. The Empire could deploy it in the empty land of the combat territories set up to protect its borders. Placing such importance on delivering supplies and forces quickly to the front lines, even if it meant paving a flight route through an albeit sparsely populated area, goes to show how much the Empire fought its neighbors. The Never was produced at Wenzel und Heinrich Motors, the same company that created the Reagan Leafs. That is to say, by the company owned by the Greth family. She had a simulator of it on her family home, so she knew how to pilot it even a decade later. Greth's father was the one that came up with creating this machine in the first place, like father, like daughter.
Hmm. There you go. That's actually a fun little through line right there, I think. Engineers going ahead and just like passing down their crazy ideas. The absolutely crazy idea of flying a couple of meters off the ground for miles at a time across terrain.
Well, it makes sense that they paved the land to
Hmm.
give it a path.
Yeah, it seems excessive. Why not have a train,
Well,
obviously?
they do
But
have
again,
trains.
yeah.
They do have trains because we constantly see them fighting over it, like at the beginning and end of every season. But I
Hmm.
think the idea is that this would be like the idea of a high speed, like a bullet train, and they
Yeah.
don't have those. So they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
coming up with a different thing.
Mhm.
Mascots are held hostage. The mascot girls are put in place to prevent soldiers from running from the battlefield. Many of the mascot girls were children sold off by their parents. They retire from being mascots at age 12 at latest, and many of them go on to enroll in military schools and aspire to become officers.
Uh, I always feel weird about the hostage word for what they are, and like, what does that imply? Of
I mean,
course.
it implies everything negative that you're thinking.
Yeah, but I guess like at one episode when they did introduce it, they said it's like we don't really do that anymore, but we keep up the tradition because it actually improves morale. So it's like it's not the terrible things that I'm thinking about anymore,
Well, remember
or shouldn't be.
they implemented it due to the what did you call them? The other
The
group,
Vargs.
the Vargs, yeah. Well, I think it's a different word. Anyway, whatever group. They implied it for that group, and I guess they don't
Yeah.
consider them to be the hostage mercenaries anymore. Now that they're
Hmm.
willing mercenaries.
Yeah, yeah. So things have still changed, but also I guess it does make sense if you put like young child around people they're supposed to be influenced by and have positive relationships. The first thing they're going to want to be like those cool dudes,
Sure,
right?
Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
There you go. Hey, you got it.
Frederica. During the official 86 web radio, Lena's voice actress, say Akumi, mentioned that Eugene's background is hellish, but Frederica's background is even worse. Frederica is a 10-year-old who pursues her brother. Sorry, sometimes when they make typos, it's harder for me.
It's all
Who's
good.
more than years older who's more than years older than her and is now a legion. Much like Shin, they have more traits in common, but more on that at a later date. Also, Shin sees in her his younger self, who had not yet fulfilled that goal, and hasn't become like him yet. Kira died at 16, and with him being the same age as Shin, Frederica was written to echo Shin's past self. Shin was a younger brother, but now assumes an older brother's role, which brings the fact that he can't remain a younger brother forever to the forefront.
I guess we have that mirroring that you mentioned earlier right there for sure. But we also got the full blast of precisely how terrible everything is from Frederica's perspective as well last time too, didn't we?
Well, I mean, we had her breakdown about it, but she's been breaking down about it the whole time.
Right, it hasn't been hidden, but we are getting more and more precise the more she goes on with it.
Well, I mean, because Shin doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop for nothing.
That was it.
All right then. So we know what the author thinks, we know what Theta thinks, and we are ready to go ahead and go. So if you'll before we get watching, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below, join the Discord. Let us know what you think about my little dark mirror theory. I keep listening to see if Lena's voice is in there.
I think they will specifically draw attention to it if it was. We threw it together last minute, it's fine. Yeah, sure, I believe that.
Well, that's the thing I was talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh, this is also about as dramatic as the music can get too.
Okay, so not attached to each one like I thought. But
Good,
still,
good
basically what I saw was going to happen, except Greth didn't immediately die like I thought she was. But she's getting into a thing to fight with them too, so clearly still has a chance.
Just dying later on.
No, well, I mean, we see the crash, but the implication is still possible if she got into a thing.
Oh, and there's also the other groups that are with them too. Let's not forget the other mercenaries on the mission real quick.
Oh no, we
They
saw
gotta
that.
blow up too.
Oh no, we saw that. They were punching the wall as they left the room back then.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's that they gave a sad moment to Lieutenant Commander, because she said she was possibly getting into a thing, but it's also possible she just crashed and died right there.
It's all off screen, which means that we're just gonna have to speculate until she pops up out of nowhere or something.
Well, I mean, the crash site wasn't off screen, but I don't know if there was an implication that she could have gotten from the cockpit into a thing and somehow also gotten off and survived. Like how fast they were traveling.
I was just moments ago making fun of we put it together the last second it'll be fine, and then follow up with this, and it's like, no, it was not actually fine.
Well, that has nothing to do with... Those are two different things. Their ejection platform worked just fine, and that's what they said they put together last minute. So that worked fine. That was, in fact, fine. So I really felt like you had a follow-up thought there, and then just...
Yeah, no, sorry, it didn't trigger. I was like, I gotta put it together. It's coming. It did not.
Well, it's more so every time you keep going. It's like a thought's about to come out.
I'm trying to think. I'm using 100% of my brain, you know?
Well, they went off course.
ありました。どうやら防衛線を張られていたようです。ノルトリヒト戦隊の現状は？戦隊は現在モルフォ直営のレギオン部隊と交戦しつつ目標に接近しています。
I think the weirdest thing is that we know the Undertaker uses blades primarily.
Yeah.
And these things are dying well before they reach him. Oh, they've already lost a bunch of them.
But still got more firing. Oh, the no effect.
Creepy smile time.
He can hear him nearby.
No, remember they just said that doesn't matter?
Mm-hmm.
There's too many of them.
They're incomplete because they made a second one elsewhere.
Yeah, how are your tiny ass little things supposed to take that giant out?
Boss battle time, let's go.
Well, the repairs aren't complete. I can't tell if that giant barrel is the firing barrel.
Or just an eye.
No, the thing above it. Yeah, see?
Ah, yes, no, it is a barrel.
So if you think it was, you'd think it would have fired already. Also,
Gosh,
Halo vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
The
when
sword.
Your robot action makes a monster.
What's the sword from Halo, right? Jump in front of the bullet? Or don't worry about it because it looks like he's firing straight up?
It wants to, but can't.
Ah, she's not dead. Ah, so many more freeze frames to go through.
So either A, transferred himself, or... No, that is just a second one. Also, the energy wings? Oh, that's just ostentatious. I love it. The robots have style points.
Wow, I love that.
Oh, that's so cool.
I haven't seen that since another show that we are... You'll see later.
And now everyone's dead. There were two of them all along.
修復ではなく乾燥なら無事な中枢部を予備機に乾燥する方が早い。見事に釣り出されたというわけか。浸透していた連合王国の観測機も今の攻撃で全機破壊された模様です。
If it can fire 100 shots at a time.
It also did it at close range, directly forward.
反撃しようにも敵の位置がわからないだろう。レーダーは潰されたまま観測機もないのに。相手は列車砲です。レールを破壊すれば少なくとも移動は。あそこからでも前進基地の大半は撃てるのだろう。それにレール程度すぐに修復できる。ミサイルの無駄だよ。ノルトリヒト戦隊がしくじった以上、他に策はありません。
Their forward ops team still have eyes on the Norley squadron.
I gave one cool speech, I can't do it again.
I'm waiting for the guy who just got handed a paper to say his drone ops thing in the area still has eyes on them.
Yeah, here comes the I'm burning it down with us.
いっそ
Everyone, go grab a gun. We're walking out there.
僕なんかを大統領に据え続けた。それが君たちの責任だ。人道に戻る手段以外
What a way to put it.
というなら、このまま僕の理想と心中してもらうよ。その必要はなさそうですな。ノルトリヒト戦隊は前期健在。
Yeah, I was waiting for him to do something crazy and impulsive.
That was fairly impulsive overall.
It was a crazy speech, but it wasn't impulsive because he didn't do anything.
まさか本物が別にいるとはね。お前でも気がつかなかったのか。戦隊確認、目標変更。方位280。
Well, I mean, maybe still destroy the shell of the other one, because he can just transfer back.
I think they fired directly at it. I think it's gone. That part of the railway was gone too.
Well, thank God we covered how inaccurate it was before.
Yeah, counterattack time.
Also remember that its anti-air defenses are nigh impenetrable.
Right. That's still scary to watch. All the better that it's like on a monitor.
Curious point of view.
Yeah, into the first.
Who's Pale Rider?
特異的生態コールサインバーレイグの誘引撃破に成功分析は正しかったバーレイグは凍結状態の予備機を感知できないノーフェイスよりペールライダーバーレイグの
He is Pale Rider.
No, I... Who is Pale Rider?
ノーフェイス
Him.
バーレイグは確実に撃破した
Shin?
ノーフェイス了解
So the next thing was because he almost got uploaded, or did get uploaded. Right?
That's hilarious.
Am I right? Am I reading this right?
Maybe. You have to find yourself now.
That maybe Shin can hear it because Shin's connected to the network because he's other half.
Or maybe Kara just looks really, really like Shin.
No, no
But
face.
he's supposed to be no face, right?
Yeah. Unless he copied himself. Can they do that? I've forgotten what we know.
I don't think they've shown that they can copy the higher intelligence at all.
I feel like it's an argument that I've made before.
Yeah, it's...
まだ遠い次はどうするもう一発かましてやるかシェノーフェイスよりペールライダー敵部隊への対処は直営に任せ撤退せよペールライダーよりノーフェイス
Look, I know you're talking to me. You don't have to, I know you're talking to me. You don't have to address me every time.
Gosh, this is literally like Shin's bloodthirstiness mirror.
Smug asshole, look.
殺意をまき散らしていれば楽だよな現在の相対距離は適正フェルドレスに有利である加えてペールライダーの並走ではバーレーグを殺傷する可能性が高い
Whose voice was that?
That's all of his companions
Was
trying
that
to talk to him
Frederica?
over the radio, but he can't hear them.
No, the shit. I don't know, possibly. Gotta be Shin, right?
Really trying to drive it home there.
繰り返す現戦闘域を撤退せよ了解
This has been a violation of your terms of service.
I love the glitchiness.
Well,
It's that thing about the takeoff.
it seems like the more emotion they have, the more glitchy they become.
I think that is accurate.
So that was them firing at him to get his attention. That's why it's a friendly lock on. So that was he locked onto them.
Oh gosh.
作戦目標はモルフォの撃破だ。この町を制圧することじゃない。行くぞ。
Just go for it.
I mean, you got to. It's the entire point. If the thing retreats, you can still kill everybody. I don't know. Why are you? I mean, we know you guys aren't considered part of the country's citizens either.
Oh, there we go. That is a more reasonable sacrifice. Oh, he actually said thanks. He's improving. He's getting better.
Is he? Or was he just still in crazy mode?
I think he left crazy mode because of that.
Take Shin being crazy to say thank you. You think Belager is just like dual hand? It's just another thing we just...
It's just their name for him.
Oh, that is Kira then. Is it?
They just look absolutely identical is what it is then. Alright, Kira and Shin are identical.
I'm confused because No
No Face
Face...
is just some other dude. Pale Rider also makes more sense for Kira anyway.
Oh, that's why he thought she was dead. Because it's literally her coat covered in blood. So if Pale Rider isn't Kira, who the fuck is... I'm sorry, if No Face isn't... Who the fuck is No Face?
Just some other dude.
Like, Leech didn't have an AI at the very start, and then it started taking other things?
Could be. No one's related to them yet.
本体からの支援や救援がないのは最初から変わりないと思いますし、他に手はないのでしょう。そう言い切られてしまうと、こちらも立つ瀬がないのだがな。一度任せたからといって状況が変わってもそのままというのも公平ではないだろう。気が変わったなら交代させてやってもいいと、そういう話だ。冗談でしょう。交代のための時間を置けば、それだけモルフォは支配域深部に戻る。撃破が難しくなるだけです。交代して構想されたら任務の達成難易度など君たちには関係ないぞ。モルフォを排除できなければ、いずれ死ぬのに変わりない以上、同じことです。
Well,
Did we actually see the
everyone will.
Morpho move?
Yeah. That's the thing with the wings.
Right, but I mean, did it actually take off with it? I don't think we got the moment of that. We just went straight into Kira's thoughts.
Oh, it backed off. We saw it backing
Okay.
away. What if Fido is No Face?
Oh. No.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Griff.
I feel you on that, but no.
Also, our asshole guy at HQ also looks a lot like Shin and Kira, if you think about it. Ah, she's alive! That dude, by the way, in case you didn't recognize.
We're in the Spider-Verse property. Who knew?
She's had the nickname the entire time we've known her, Griff.
I know, but just hearing it out loud again just makes me giggle.
ウェディングドレスより先に喪服を着る羽目になった花嫁などそうそういない。
最低。
せっかく少々と式場をバラで埋める嫌がらせを準備していたというのに俺を振って花嫁を置き去りにくたばるあんなバカになびくからだ。化け物の
This seems very inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that seems a little too personal, but I guess they are still friends somehow?
猫
バカか。
下がってるわね。
それも開けろ。ファイド。命令だ。開けろ。
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, we thought she might have stowed away. Like I said, pulled a Vinland Saga.
何やってるんだよ。なんでついてきた。何かあったら一緒
She
にしよう。
literally could have exploded.
そなたらと来たら一体いつまで必ず死ぬと定められた86個の戦場に囚われたつもりでおるのか。必ず帰れとエルンストめも言うたであろう。それこそが今のそなたたちに課せられた定めであるぞ。わらわは人質じゃ。戦場からではない。
I'm your fucking hostage.
警官の義
So
務と
keep up with me.
逃がさぬためのな。
I love it. She's so manipulative.
そなたらとて本意ではある
Oh, she's uncertain. I love the expression.
ライデン、もし連れて戻れと言ったら。無茶言うな。んなことできんのはお前ぐらいだろ。
ほんと、本体までの間、レギオン全部避けて進めないよ。
じゃあファイドに乗って一緒に行く。
それはさすがに。
仕方ねえ。俺が連れて行く。つうか俺の以外じゃ乗せらんねえだろ。任せた。
Raiden gets all the girls.
二度と来ない。
Yeah.
こんなことしなくても死にに行くわけじゃねえよ。
I'll believe that when we get home.
すまぬ。
お昼にしましょう。おう、準備途中だったね。
もう一つ用意しないと。
フレデリカ。使い方はわかるな。もし俺たちが全滅して本体とも合流できなかったら、それで自分の始末をつけろ。
良いのか。
Oh, that's a hell of a thing to say.
そなたの戦友らに
I mean,
刺してやった拳銃
Unless you want to join Kira.
Right.
見えたのは記憶の方じゃ。そなたが全員背負ってやっておるから。このような重いものはか弱いわらわの手には余るわ。基地に帰ったら突き返してやるゆえ。必ず共に帰る。
Another 5 days out here.
No, it was 10 hours.
Okay, yeah, no, that is hours. Sorry, I was trying to figure out all the numbers. Like, wait, they've been out here for 5 days.
You had me
fighting.
thinking for a second. It's like, no, those are seconds. Those are minutes. Those are hours.
There you go. They spend 5 hours taking a break. Because they started that scene at 5 hours, ended it at 10.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Pointedly, the battle operations ended at night, and it was daytime
Yeah, yeah.
in the next scene.
Oh,
So, well,
through the whole night.
Oh, here we go. We've already cut somebody off from the rest of them.
Finn is going forward, and he's gonna kill everything.
I don't know. We're clearly trying to evolve the characters somewhat, but it's very difficult because Shin goes from emotionless to super excited, literally at the drop of a hat.
Oh gosh, but no, like the whole scene where Shin is rushing forward, hears Kira's voice constantly, and just you hear the muted sound of all of his friends in the background going, it's like, what are you doing? Was absolutely perfect.
I don't know. I'm still very confused about the two now that are controlling everything.
Right. We still don't know who this other No-Face commander really is yet.
死ぬまで一緒に。
all gonna die.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's every episode, right?
Well, we have Pale Rider and No Face. I almost said Pale Face because I couldn't figure it's all mixing together in my head.
Right.
We thought No Face was Kira because Frederica kept referring to the things that No Face was doing as Kira. And now we see somebody who looks exactly like Shin, and we see in the flashback that Kira looks like Shin on a dude named Pale Rider, which clearly implies that either they've cloned themselves or there's another one out here that's controlling everything.
Mm-hmm. Someone's got to be the first one, I guess, right?
Or Shin has been cloned.
Which would be even more weird and disturbing and imply even more things, because I thought they needed the heads to make this work.
Well, maybe they scan. It would be easier, I guess, to rip the head off and scan it in a thing. But what if you didn't rip the head off and you still scanned it? We don't know how the technology works.
Well, we are figuring out how it works in the metaverse, where like they start glitching out, like you say, the more emotional they get. I also love the way like all of it just immediately stops, goes back to completely blank face, and then as they are getting like in order, they are not allowed to defy. It's like, okay, there are measures of control on all of this. There is something taking control of this.
Well, I think the indicator is very clear that the more emotional that they get, the more their program breaks up. We've seen that in Ray and his completely broken up thing, and then the more he calmed down, the more solid he get. And the same thing with the Pale Rider, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
That the moment he resumed calm, it went right back to full-on normalcy.
But all Pale Rider wants to do is kill.
I have to wonder if that's like a
one-track
mirror
mind.
for Shin, though.
Yeah, it's the place that we saw that he was going towards before, and he since has veered away from somewhat. I think maybe he's even taking some conscious joy of the idea, like, wait, I was thinking literally this earlier, and I now know exactly what you're thinking, and I'm just abusing that against you.
Well, no, I mean the irrational thoughts thing. Shin's normal flatline mouth versus smile mouth. The
Yeah, yeah.
situations that are causing them are the same in the Shepherd and Shin. And I think is the breakup of the code thing supposed to be representative of Shin's mental state, and if that has some sort of effect on the story as well.
Do you think Shin is just the direct cause of glitching?
No. I just mean like if there's supposed to be some sort of representative state of a program not working right, or an upload whatever that thing is, and Shin's mental state being a 1-to-1, as though there's some, I don't know, I feel like there's more to be seen in what the face represents as to what we can apply that then to Shin's mental aspect.
Yeah, again, this show like has a lot of these mirror things in it. And I think just like observing the different sides like is giving us more now. Now that we're getting direct camera on Kira, his thoughts, his perspective, we can now actually start analyzing that. But he's still on the loose, and we're still going to get more of him. So it's going to be fun times ahead.
Well, as normal, it's just going to take another rewatch to try and slowly piece everything together that happened.
There you go, then. So I think with that, Theta, is that all your thoughts for right now?
It's all my thoughts.
All right, then. In that case, let's just go ahead and wrap it up for the day. This has been Stonefacers Actions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?